What's going on, guys? It's Adrian from Pirates TCG here, and I am back with another card leak video for you guys. Today we're going to be looking at the new blue support that came out for USOPP and Nojiko, and also some CP9 and Navy cards that are coming at you, along with a cool Kalifa Rob Lucci card. So let's just get right into it, starting off with our CP9 cards. So the first card I wanted to talk about today was Rob Lucci. This is going to be our box SR. He actually has like a really cool alt art that we're going to look at. He looks like this. And this art is just beautiful, but on top of that, it is a great card. He is a 6-drop 7k, and on play, you can return 2 cards with any, not with any type, that would be busted, but with a type that includes CP from your trash. Put them at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then this character is going to gain Rush. So you could kind of think about him as like a 6-drop 7k with Rush with an upside, which is pretty insane, right? I mean, 7k is a beautiful stat line to have for a card with Rush. I mean, it's guaranteed to at least rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand if they want to counter it. That's of course assuming they're at 5k. For a leader like Whitebeard, it's only going to take a 2k counter, but he's an exception, so this is an amazing card. Along with the Navy cards, just discarding, the Rob Lucci leader discards a lot of cards as well through his leader skill, so having that recursion is going to be very nice, especially if we get some sort of like deck searcher or some way that we can kind of get access to those CP cards from the bottom of our deck. But otherwise, this card is great. I think it's going to see a lot of play, and it's going to give Black the kind of fast tempo it needs to keep up with the other decks. Moving on to another familiar CP9 face, we have Khalifa. Khalifa's pretty great. She's a 4-drop 4k, and she has 2k counter, which is awesome. And she has a pretty cool effect. So on play, she's going to draw you 2 cards, then you have to trash 2 cards from your hand. So this is great for hand shaping and kind of manipulating it in a way that you want. And you're going to be able to get those cards back with Rob Lucci, as we saw earlier, so it doesn't feel as bad getting rid of them if we could recur them in some way. And then also, I mean, we've seen that effect before on Mihawk. It's a great effect. And then also on top of that, you're going to reduce the cost of one of your opponent's characters by 2 for the turn, which is awesome. It's super important in the Navy decks because, of course, like they have KO effects and extra effects when, you know, characters are at 0 cost, or you want to lower something to KO it with like a card like Sakazuki or something like that. So I think she's going to see quite a bit of play, especially as we see all of the other CP9 cards that are coming out, and she's just a really solid card. I mean, you can't really go wrong with a playable 2k, right? Moving to our last Navy card that we're going to talk about in this video, we have Brand New. He's a 2-cost 3k with a 1k counter, and he has a very interesting effect. So on play, you're going to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and then reveal 1 Navy type card other than him, and then add it to your hand. Then you are going to trash the remaining cards instead of returning them to the bottom of your deck, like what we see with the other searchers like this. So this is super interesting. I love these like new 2-drop searchers that we're getting in OP2 and OP3, where, you know, they have a very, very powerful effect. You know, searching any Navy type card is a pretty big deal because, you know, there's different Navy cards like CP9, the Admirals and everything like that. So it's really awesome, and it interacts in a way that is different from the other searchers because you have to trash the remaining cards, and this could be potentially detrimental to your strategy if you don't have any like reliable trash recursion in your deck. So it's going to be interesting seeing this card and if it gets play or not. I think it's strong enough, but let me know what you guys think. So moving on to one of my favorite cards of this set, we have Sogeking. This art is just phenomenal, man. I am so excited for these new cards that we're gonna get, and I'm so thankful for the illustrators for like popping off on these, honestly. But he's gonna be a 7-drop 6k with 1k counter. It's kind of hard to see because of the art, but he does have 1k counter, and his effect is going to be that he is also called USOPP. So, you know, I imagine there's probably gonna be some cards that combo around having an USOPP on board, and everything like that. Interestingly enough, he has the Sniper Island tag, so I don't know if we're gonna get more Sniper Island support cards, but that's pretty significant. But yeah, I mean, his main effect is on play. he's going to return a character that costs 6 or less to their owner's hand, and then he's going to draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards. So this is a cool effect. They kind of smushed like 7-drop Dofi and 4-drop Mihawk effect into one on play, which is pretty interesting. It's a pretty stacked card if you think about it. And also it has this really cool interaction with Nami Leader, because with Nami Leader, she has the effect that if you deck out, you do not lose, you actually win. So the win condition for that leader is milling through your entire deck, and Sogeking is going to help that because it's going to get you tempo on board that you need. It's going to return a 6 or less card from your opponent's side of the field. You're going to be left with a 6k, which is a pretty big body, or actually like not that big for its cost, but a pretty sizable body to deal with anything on board. And then on top of that, it's going to get you closer to that that 0 cards that you're planning on getting to, right, by drawing you 2 cards. Just a great all-around card. I don't know if it's going to see play in like any other blue list other than Nami, but I mean, it's a pretty stacked card nonetheless, so I wouldn't be surprised if it saw a lot of play. So moving on to our other blue support, we have Nojiko, of course Nami's sister, and she has this really interesting effect. So she's a 2-cost 0k attacker, and with a 1k counter, but on play, if your leader is Nami, you could return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less back to their hand. And this is really, really interesting because returning your opponent's card, or like 5-drop, is a pretty insane effect, because most 5-drops in the game have some pretty powerful effects. Think of Basil Hawkins, think of even like you could even bounce like a Nico Robin with this effect, or like Kiku, right, because it's so cheap at 2 Dawn. So I'm really interested to kind of see how Nami kind of plays around this, because it seems like with the Usopp card as well, you're going to want to kind of stall out and use your draw effects rather than kind of trading for the board. I mean, like we even have like cards like Zeph that are going to be like super milling your cards away. So it's really interesting seeing this kind of stally mill deck kind of come forth and form in front of our eyes, but we are going to see exactly how good this card is, of course, when the whole set drops. I think it is a pretty good card to run at maybe like at least 2, but we'll see the ratios when people start testing it. But let me know what you guys think as usual. So I actually wanted to save this card for last because it kind of opens the door for a whole different kind of way to play this game. Right now we have Rob Lucci. He's a 5-drop 6k with a 1k counter, and his effect is really awesome. It's when attacking, go Dawn -1, rest up to one of your characters with a cost of 5 or less. So he's basically 5-drop Okiku with 6k. And honestly, it's kind of underwhelming because you have to go Dawn -1, but it's not when you look at Iceberg's effect, and I kind of wanted to kind of show him here. So Iceberg is, he looks like a normal single color leader. He has 5k attack, 5 life, but as you can see from his effect, he's very unique in that he cannot attack ever. So you're not going to be swinging with Iceberg, but for that hefty trade-off, he has an insanely busted effect, and it's activate main, go Dawn -1, and you may rest this leader to play up to one character with a Galley Law Company type that costs 5 or less from your hand. And as you saw before there, Rob Lucci is a Galley Law 5 costs or less from that you can have in your hand, right? So when you look at this card, it kind of changes the whole balancing around the card, because you can have Rob Lucci out on turn 1, and it is just a devastating play because, it's going to keep your opponent from playing a lot of stuff for like a couple of turns. If they have some high target card that they want to play, they probably will not be able to do so because they're just going to get their card rested, and it's going to get attacked into with Rob Lucci. So there's a lot of interesting interactions that we can see. I'm super excited to see the other Galley Law Company cards that are coming out. I wonder if they're all going to be like 5 drops, or if, you know, you're going to have some variants with like maybe like some 1 or 2 cost searchers. But yeah, I mean, Rob Lucci is a very polarizing card. This leader is a pretty polarizing card in my opinion, and I think it's going to be a pillar for balancing for Bandai, where it's like, you have all these gimmick leaders. Are they going to be insanely bad, insanely good, just strong? I'm so excited to see, honestly, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Make sure to let us know how you guys are feeling about these cards. I read all the comments. I love kind of having discussions about the game and the future of it, and these cards just, I mean, they look very exciting to me, but let me know how you guys feel about them. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the content, and we have a lot more coming out, gameplay, deck profiles, everything like that. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and I will see you guys on the next one.